the great undoing. You know, my teacher said it takes, I think she said it takes great courage to really want to wake up. It does take great courage because we really, we're really wanting to stay safe. We're programmed to want to stay safe, to want to be in control of what's happening. And really, the spiritual opening is all about losing control. It's all about letting go of any idea of what things should be like, any impulse we have of, trying to push ourselves or others or circumstances in a certain way. It's not to say that we can't make choices in our lives. Like, when we want to heal, we're going to try and make healing choices for ourselves. But do we have control over healing? No, we don't. And often, especially with deep healing and emotional healing, and even physical healing, in the end it happens in ways that we couldn't even dream up, that we had no notion that it could happen that way. To give you an example out of my own life, I had breast cancer twice. And it really, for me, was a way of letting go of very deeply ingrained ideas I had about what was going to be healing for me. Because I was very much in the alternative healing world, and I was very critical of the Western medical system. And I couldn't find healing in the alternative world. So in the end, the great undoing for me was that I had to trust Western medicine to help me. I had to open to that possibility because that's what was needed. And I'm not saying that's anybody else's path, but for me that was part of the shedding of an identity that I had built for myself, as an alternative healing practitioner. And so this undoing came in a form that was very challenging for me at the time, because everything in me resisted, putting myself in the hands of Western doctors. And yet, in the end, that's what I needed to do. And so it's like when we're really open to how life unfolds for us, it holds a lot of surprises. And it really asks us to let go of what we might have invested in. Whether that's beliefs, or whether that's people in our lives, or whether it's a job, or, it's like whatever the undoing is about, it's like in the end, there may be things you need to let go of, and that may be very difficult in the moment, and yet afterwards you see that actually was very freeing, because this is the truth of undoing. Is it's very liberating, you know. It liberates us from boxes that we put ourselves into and others into and life into. And so it creates a greater openness to what is here, you know, both in the absolute and also in the form that it takes in this moment. So healing may elude us the way that we want it, and it may come in a different way. Or it may be that we need to let go of even the idea of healing. Who knows? You know, it's like our lives are very individual. But one thing is guaranteed: when you're on a spiritual path, when you're devoted to the truth of yourself, there'll be undoing that's happening, you know. And for all you know, that may be happening for the rest of your life. And demanding as that may be, it's wonderful news, because that's what frees you in a very day-to-day way. You know, the opening to who you are, to self, frees you at the deepest and most truthful level. But the undoing frees you in a very practical way. And you know, both are needed, both are part of this opening. So yes, so let yourself be undone. And know that it's also okay to just be who you are and want what you want and do what you do. All of that's totally okay. And if it needs to come undone, you will know sooner or later. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, not everything comes undone, but some parts of us do, some parts of our lives do. And that's good news too.